let us again think we want to accept each other, but we have great problem. What I understand, you don't understand that each and every person has a different understanding. And this will remain as such. Accepting each other does not mean your idea will change. Because whatever mind intelligence we have, that is a certain height, certain evolved stage, through that we are observing. You are not going to change overnight. And you have to accept it. Whatever you know and whatever anybody is knowing, whatever I am knowing, all are the correct. Whatever you think, it is true for you. Whatever I think, it is true for me. Each and every person, whatever they imagine, they think, it is truth for them. But we have to think of ultimate truth. Each and every person should realize ultimate truth. It will take time. Because I am doing mistake, you are doing mistake. If I say you are only doing mistake, I am not doing mistake, then we are incorrect. Because not realizing truth is called mistake. But I know what I am realizing is truth, that is double mistake, ignorance. Therefore, let us accept each other as such and have no complaint with each other. If anybody does any mistake, forgive it, because we also do mistake. What mistake we are doing? We are misunderstanding the greatest mistake. And we also try to reach to the same point, which is called clear understanding, true understanding. Then we have to learn certain things. For example, let us imagine that we are a student of medical science and we are learning surgery. We want to become a specialist in surgery. Then remember, in the beginning, students who are learning surgery, they are more excited and they think that they can do it. No, but you have to learn this discipline, that you know the structure, anatomy, physiology, pathology at that part. And you have done sufficient experiment, your fingers and arms are working. When you cut anything, you should not cut the nerve. But we do mistake. Then you have to become perfect student. You have to learn theory as well as practical, both. And when you learn it, what is the proof that you are learning correctly? Then you will feel that when you start learning it, your tiredness is going away. Tension, problems are going away. There is one example. One person was having a rheumatoid. In rheumatoid, that is called chronic rheumatic arthritis. All fingers were swollen and body is crooked. Hardly he was able to walk. But he was expert at piano. When he started playing the piano, then after some time, means half an hour, sometimes 20 minutes, sometimes 40 minutes, his body becomes all right. Then he starts walking and having no any problem in the movement. Because what he was working through the all concentration, then realizing no problem does not exist. Exactly in the same way, when try to follow the path of self-realization, that we are going to practice certain discipline. First, try to accept truth. What is the truth? What I feel is truth. What exists here, this is the truth, this is the earth, this is this sky, everything is truth. Okay, all right. And truth is God. And accept God has become this. And what is our discipline? Try to have great devotion in God. Then try to appreciate all things. Never compare. Today is the snow. Temperature -16. Yesterday was -1. Then temperature is something more heat. Except all are equally great. We can do it. Therefore, this is most important point. Try to practice what is the truth, but we cannot practice truth without non-violence. Try to know the truth through the non-violence. What is the non-violence? Not creating injury to anyone. If I criticize you, I create injury in you. Where when I criticize, I try to radiate negative vibration against you. Then you get problem. I get problem when I criticize you, and you also get problem with my vibration. Therefore, try to practice truth with the principle of non-violence. Therefore, criticize no one. And whatever you know, it is all right. Whatever I know, it is all right. First important thing is this. Second, try to do some work, physical work. Try to do all varieties of physical work. And when you are doing physical work, appreciate all changes equally. This is the second point. Third point is try to use minimum things. All external, whatever we have, try to use minimum and try to keep everything for others. When we use maximum, we keep very little for others, and you cannot find intuition. You cannot realize the truth. That's called aparigraha, non-storing. I am storing it for safety. That's something I can get it next year. After 10 years, I want something to save for my life. It means if you have this thought, then do not worry. Practice Kriyayoga more and more. When you will have thought like Mahatma Gandhi, you will get everything, whatever you need. Mahatma Gandhi collected maximum amount of fund. Nobody was able to collect that. Even beggars and coolies and workers, they were donating to him. Because he was having the one thing, he has to take everything to give to others in the proper place, because his intuition was awakened. Suppose that my intuition is awakened, then what I will feel, what is the weak part, I will charge that first. I will not charge those parts who are already healthy and strong. Therefore, what is the intuition of a politician? Try to help all those persons first who needs help. But generally you will find the persons who are already helped, they do not need help. Therefore, this is important point. Physical activity is very important. Physical work is very important. Try to do physical work so that mind should feel body. When you are doing physical work, mind is running here and there. It means we are not doing sufficient quantity of physical work. So that your body should feel, mind should feel breath, mind should feel head to toes, all various changes. Whatever you feel, accept all. This is what we need. We want power, it is the power what we need. Power which brings unity, this is the power. Therefore, Gandhiji made one law. Everybody has to practice physical work. Physical activity is very important. And practice non-storing, non-stealing. How to practice non-stealing? I am reading a book. Without understanding, I used to teach it. Because when I read, I remember it, I can write it, I can speak it. This is called stealing. What I read, I have to live that principle. When I live it, then I experience it. Then when I am teaching, this is called now I am not stealing. Like Newton's principle, when you read it, try to practice it, live that principle. Or theory of relativity, or any principle like that. Or any medical, any psychology, whatever you are learning, try to live that. Then you will feel it is correct or not. Without living that principle philosophy, you cannot teach it. If you are teaching, this is called stealing. Then intuition cannot be awakened. This is the few points. If really we are having interest, we can do it. If Gandhiji was able to do it, you can imagine that anybody can do it. Gandhiji, nobody had this thought that Gandhiji was like Lori Maharshi or like Jesus Christ, like Ram. Everybody think he was the simple person, though this is not correct. Gandhiji is prophet. He's like Jesus, like Lord Master, like Kabir and Nanak Dev. But he behaved in such a way that we are not able to understand. There is one example, when the general died, he killed many hundred persons when they were doing meeting in Punjab. And he came and just fired. Then after that nobody was doing meeting. Because when doing meeting in a congregation, again same thing will happen. When all leaders were calling the persons, let us come and get together how to get the freedom, nobody was coming. Moment Gandhiji called, let us come and practice non-obedience, civil disobedience. All people came on the road. Why? What was the important thing? Gandhiji, same thing was called by many. Nobody came on the road. Because his intuition was awakened. Therefore, when he was talking something, it was connected to the all persons automatically. Messages were given all and they accepted it. Therefore, this is a very important point. To become like Gandhiji, to become like Buddha, it looks very tough, very hard. Therefore, Kriyayoga is given. When you practice Kriyayoga meditation sincerely, you become the same very easily. You have not to do so much hard work, this and that. Okay, all right, I have to practice non-stealing, then I have to not teach the Newton's philosophy, theory of relativity or anything. But do not worry. If you are professor, keep on teaching without any mistake. Whatever you know, do it. If you are having any kind of negative idea, do not worry. Hold your negative idea. You are doing bad work, do not worry. Do not criticize anything. Just practice Kriyayoga meditation without any gap. Automatically big transformation will come. Otherwise we find it very tough. When we tell the people become like Gandhi, it's very tough. Then they criticize Gandhiji because they cannot become Gandhiji. But when you practice Kriyayoga meditation, you become Gandhiji. Then you see the Lari Mahasaya and Gandhiji. Lari Mahasaya was having all the nice and cloth and dress and everything and walking at the bank in Varanasi, where Gandhiji was having loin cloth. Then how will justify that Lari Mahasaya is having more intuition awakened or Mahatma Gandhi? Because Mahatma Gandhi has to convince the majority people in order to bring freedom in India. Lari Mahasaya was meant to spread Kriyayoga meditation. When Siddhi Yogananda, he was having all the dresses exactly what you call the luxurious dresses. Where Gandhiji was having loin cloth, and how to compare both. Paramahansa Yogananda was not meant to collect our people and to tell them and how to get freedom in India. He was meant for Kriya, in that it was not essential. Therefore, both are equally great, but in spirituality, one try to understand Yogananda ranks little more ahead because he realized Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Lari Mahasaya Nirvikalpa Samadhi. And Mahatma Gandhi was not having time to experience those Samadhi all the time. He was having different activity. Therefore, this is very important. We should not worry about anything. That discipline is very tough. We have not to speak lie because we do not know what is truth. Never try to create injury anyone. Then how to purchase the ripe apple, we do not know it is mature or immature. So many complications in the life. Therefore, practice Kriyayoga meditation sincerely. Read autobiography of Yogi every day, holy science every day. Do not worry about anything. This will take you to the path of self-realization. Now we should, when we read about Gandhiji, majority they feel it is a very tough life. You cannot live that life. You do not need to read and to live like Gandhiji. It is tough, there is no doubt. Live like Jesus Christ, accept that crucify me, then I will give teaching. Like Gandhiji fasting many days in order to convince others. It is a tough path. Therefore follow Lari Mahasaya path. Therefore, this is called a royal path. Suppose that you cannot live without smoking every day. Keep on smoking, practice Kriyayoga, you will leave smoking. Therefore, from today onwards, let us criticize no one, have complained with no one, accept all human beings as such. It is our responsibility to practice Kriyayoga. When you practice, when they will come in your contact, they will be transformed. This is the brief message. Let us bow down to our devotion in Kriyayoga meditation. And now we will sit and open my eyes.